Hello, hello, and welcome back. Right in this section, we are going to be working on how to embed PHP in HTML. So moving on from here, we are going to work on how to get our htdoc. Remember I told you in our last session that the htdoc is where we have every of our PHP files in using this example application that we have here. So we're going to go to the directory. All right, so just come down here. If you're using a Windows operating system, just come here, just put PC, go to your PC, and we're going to move to the local drive. Then we have XAMPP, then come down to htdoc, and right here inside the htdoc is where every of our PHP files are going to be in. Alright, so to avoid the process of always coming down here to this XAMPP folder to get to the htdoc is what we are going to do. We're going to create a shortcut for this htdoc and put that on our desktop. That's obviously to avoid coming down here every time just because we want to create a PHP file. So if you're using a Mac operating system, just go to application, then move down to exam folder, and then we do the same. But for the Windows people, just go through the PC local drive, then exam, that's XAMPP, and it takes you to the htdoc. Then we right click, and we have right here we have create shortcut. So click on create shortcut. Then that shortcut has been created. We're just gonna look for it. All right, we have it right here. So I'm just gonna move this shortcut. Oh, what's going on? Oh. All right, let's cut. Let's just cut it. Cut, and come down to the desktop and paste. All right, so successfully placed there. Now let's minimize this. We don't need that anymore. So we don't need to actually move to the that's move through the PC, the local drive, the XAMPP to get to the htdoc. Now we have the htdoc right here. Now we're going to click on that, and right here we are going to create a folder. Now the folder we're going to be creating here will be the folder we're going to be having every of our files, our PHP files, in the course of this course that we're doing together. So what we're going to do, we're going to right click here, go to new, and folder, we give it the name demo. All right, so we give it the name demo. Then we have successfully created the folder for this particular course. Now the next thing we are going to do here, now we're going to take this folder to our Visual Studio Code. Obviously we are using Visual Studio Code since the beginning of this course. We've been using it, and it's quite interesting using Visual Studio Code. Now let's come down here. Okay, so we have Visual Studio Code here. So I'm just going to try to minimize this. We have here. Now moving forward, we are going to take this demo folder and drag it down to the Visual Studio Code we have here. Okay, so we can just click on that and take it right here. Okay, we have it here. Okay, it's not gone. Okay, so let's do that process again. Oh, not gone. Lastly, for the last time, let's do that process one more time. Okay, so good, we have it right here now. So our demo folder is placed in the Visual Studio Code right now. Now let's move on. Let's try to expand this. Okay, so we have this here. Now we're going to create a PHP file in the demo folder. So to achieve that, we're going to come down here and we click here, and I'm going to give it embed.php. Now look at this. We have the extension for your PHP file. We have it written with .php. Very, very important when creating a PHP file. Alright, so you have the name of the file, then the extension will obviously be with the extension will be .php. If you don't have .php right here, it's not gonna, the Apache server will not recognize this file as a PHP file. Alright, so we have to always put the extension .php inside of that before we start writing our PHP code right inside that file. Now, how do we start writing the PHP code right in this PHP file? How do we start writing the code? Obviously, we have some things where we have to declare just the way. For example, when when we're working in HTML, we save the HTML file with index.html. Let's see, the extension is the bone of contention, the extension .html. So that is an HTML file. So before you start writing your code and start writing everything about building a web page, first of all, you have to do some declaration where we have the doc type, we have the head, we have the HTML tag and body and all those stuff. So the same way we have in PHP. So in PHP, we can't just start writing our code just randomly, just the way we like. So we have to actually start up this PHP. We have to start it up with the PHP syntax, and right inside the syntax, we are starting that PHP up. Inside that syntax, we're going to be writing every of our PHP code. So how do we achieve that? We have the less than angle brackets, then we have the question mark, then we have PHP. Okay, so right inside here, so this is the opening tag. Alright, this is what we used to open it. Okay, so inside here is where every of our PHP code will be. So PHP codes goes in here. Alright, okay, so our PHP code, every of our PHP codes will be passed in here. So how do we close it? Also, we have the question mark, and we have the closing angle bracket. Okay, that's the greater than sign. All right, so this way we have successfully opened PHP and we have successfully closed the PHP right here. So this is just the way we can actually create the PHP syntax before we start writing our PHP codes normally, and then every other way. All right, so this is just the only way we can achieve this. All right, so there's something I want to let you know is that when writing your PHP code, okay, let's just put this right here, down here. Okay, so every of your PHP command must end with a semicolon. Okay, every of your PHP command or your PHP expression or whatever it is must end with a semicolon. That is to say, that particular command is be ended. Okay, we have ended that expression, we have ended that command, we have ended that particular program. All right, so every of your PHP code must end with a semicolon. Now the whole syntax, the whole code, this is what ends it here, but each command that we are writing, the expression that we're writing inside of it will be ended with a semicolon. Very, very important for you to know that. And another thing you need to know is that PHP doesn't the white space is not, it doesn't care, it doesn't take this white space so serious. Okay, you can leave and you can put the program anywhere. White space is not so much it doesn't matter if you have the white space. The most important thing is that after the command you put a semicolon, so the white space is not so much important in PHP. All right, now you have known that. Now let's take this off and try to output an expression with the echo. So we have echo right here. Now I have hello student. All right, put a semicolon right here. All right, so we have hello student. Okay, so this echo is the function we use to output a string. We can output anything on the browser using this function. All right, this echo function. All right, so we use it to output to the browser. All right, so basically it outputs the server, the Apache server gets what we have here and it sends it to the browser in the plain HTML. So we're going to be saying this hello student, the text we have in here inside the string, we're going to be seeing it on the browser. So how do we get that? How do we see what we have here on the browser? Now, for we to do that, just go down to your browser. Okay, I'm going to use Google Chrome, and just come down here. We have localhost. Just put localhost slash the folder name. The folder name we have here is demo. All right, so just click enter. All right. Okay, this site can be reached. Okay, there's something wrong. Now the issue here is that we've not started our Apache server. All right, so we said that PHP is a server-side scripting language. So for you to for PHP to be able to run on your system, you have to start up a server. Okay, so in the course of this lecture, we'll be using the XAMPP. I showed you how to install that in our last session. We are using the XAMPP. Okay, if you are not going to be using the local server, that's the server in your PC, you can buy an online server. We have that everywhere. You have the companies selling the online server. You just go to an hosting company and buy a host. Then in the host, you have the liberty to run PHP right inside that hosting. Now let's start the Apache server here. This Apache started up. So when it's turned green, we are good to go. Okay, so it's going to turn green shortly. All right, we're good to go. Now I'll minimize this. Now let's go back to the browser and do that same stuff. Okay, so we have this good to go. So we have embed.php. Now click on this embed.php. So we have the hello student right here. Okay, very easy. I just showed you how to output your expression, your programs on the browser. Now another thing you need to know is that if we have something like this, let's just create an example.html. now this is an HTML file. Okay, now let's enter that. Now trying to put a PHP syntax in this HTML file will not work. Okay, so if we say we want to do this, just take this up and oh sorry, what's that? Okay, copy, and let's try to paste this here. All right, trying to do this will not work. It's a wrong practice. Trying to put in your PHP syntax, trying to write your PHP syntax or code inside an HTML file. Now this is an HTML file with .html extension on it. So the Apache server doesn't recognize this as a PHP code. So it's not going to run this particular code for you. Okay, if you want to try that, we can actually go and check this in our browser. So we have example.php. So we click on that. So let me open this in a new tab. Okay, so you see that nothing actually shows here, but if you look at the if you view page source, you will still see the PHP syntax here, right? So we have PHP echo student right here, hello student, but right inside the file it cannot be displayed. That's just it. You can't use you can't come down to an HTML file and say you want to be using your PHP syntax right there. It's not going to work. But if you come down here and put the rightful syntax for this, it's going to work. So we have hello, and we go down there and we load this, you're going to see the HTML tag element represented right here. All right, so that's one thing you need to know about this. HTML, you can't bring in your PHP code inside of an HTML file. But coming down here, we can actually do something there and put the h1 inside this particular file, PHP file here. So you have h1. Okay, if you come down there, you will see that it actually works. Okay, so you see that hello student now is now written with the H1 elements. Okay, that is just the way PHP is because of the extension we have saved. We saved this file with the .php. Obviously, the Apache server knows that anything that is going into this particular file is a PHP code. Okay, it sees it as PHP code, and when in the beginning of the course I told you in your PHP file you can have HTML, you can have CSS, you can have JavaScript files and PHP code and text inside of your PHP file. That's why we have this written right here. All right, I'm sure you have a good understanding of what we've just done here, and I know you're gonna have, and we're gonna have a good time together in this course. Thank you, and I'm gonna see you in the next section. Bye for now.